morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 154. We're going to be talking about these must-watch college football games on Saturday and these must-watch football games on Sunday in the NFL. There's not many good ones, I will be honest. There's going to be a lot of BTAs happening this weekend, but we'll talk about 4 games that, hey, if you're going to watch games, watch these ones. And then we finish with Tim's best bets. He's earned it. He went 2-2 last week. We're going 4-0 this week, so let's get it started.
Yeah, I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 154. I'm here at Tim and Anthony, and we have a full weekend full of football. Let's hear what our must-watch game should be. Anthony, why don't you start us off with your first college must-watch?
Yes, it starts in the SEC. 11 o'clock game, I believe. Vanderbilt versus Texas. Now, Arch Manning is not expected to play in this game. It is going to be the backup. Now, let's get a little details of this backup. He transferred from Troy. He is a senior. He's thrown the ball only 11 times this year and didn't play much last year for Troy. So they're going to be uphill battle. But this game is about how does Texas fight back after the Mississippi State game where they just got it by the skin of their teeth. This will be the game that when we talk about how did Texas do this year, this is that game. You haven't played anyone worth a crap recently, and now you got a Vanderbilt team at home to take on. You have to win this game. While Vanderbilt has had a great season, right? This has been a great Cinderella story. But the last time that they've played a ranked team on the road was Alabama. The last 2 games, though, they've played ranked teams. So this is a 3rd ranked game in a row. 2 of them were at home on the road to Texas. I think this game comes down to the quarterback for Vanderbilt. Can he be the star that he has been all year? I don't think he will against this Texas defense. I think Texas defense shuts him down. I like Texas at home, even with the backup, because I think the backup might be a little bit better than the starter. But I think Texas wins this game at home. If it was in Vanderbilt, I'd take Vanderbilt, but Texas at home, you can't bet against him.
That's a hot take, picking the backup over the...
I think you put teams into like misery when you have look at the Bears last week with the Snoop and stuff like that instead of Lamar. I think Texas wins at home.
Okay, Tim, what are you thinking?
I think this is Pavia's time. You know what? Put up or shut up. Yeah. One of the two, my friends. I like Vanderbilt on the road. You know what? It's time, man. If you want to make to that, hey, Clark Lee, this is your time, my friend. If you want to make it up to the next echelons in the SEC, you've got to go on the road and play some tough games. And this is going to be a tough game for Vanderbilt. I mean, Texas got this backup quarterback. This is your time to shine, Pavia. I like Vanderbilt.
What's Texas ranked right now? Are they top 10?
20.
Yes.
So I'm kind of surprised, Anthony, that you're saying Texas is going to come through with this. I mean, Vanderbilt's sitting at 10, I think.
9.
Like, they've proven themselves. They've gone up against big teams like this. I'm feeling Vanderbilt. I think they got this on the road. I think they're gonna do well here. 1
second though, okay? They beat an LSU team that we now are saying is a bad team, right? And then who did they beat last weekend? Missouri? Missouri should have won that game. These games were at home. The only ranked game they've played on the road is Alabama. And honestly, Alabama played an okay game and beat up on them. So
yeah, but that Alabama game was a revenge game for them. So they had more to prove to Vanderbilt, where Texas has been stinking it up all year.
I would just watch. I'll tell you right now.
I agree with Lisa.
I think you're going to determine this game in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. I think the way Texas has to come out better than the way they did against Mississippi State.
Oh,
and I think when you're at home, you'll play better. And I think that first half, they do run it. I think also to watch the running back for Texas. I can't remember his name right now. He's going to have a big game because when you have a backup quarterback, you hand the ball off a little bit more in those situations. I think Texas on paper is better than Vanderbilt. So, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, and if we have a full backup quarterback running the whole game, maybe we'll see a different Texas. So
True.
I guess we'll see. Tim, what's your first must-watch this Saturday?
I think, it's my first watch is if you guys can stay up just a little later to Saturday night. Don't get too much into the sauce, everybody.
I think you're talking about yourself.
Cincinnati, Utah. It's a 9:15 game, a little late night for everybody, but it's a Big 12 action. Start time's 9:15. College game day is going to be there. I think the key for Utah, can Utah stop that quarterback Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati? Utah ranks second in the Big 12 with 25 sacks. They got to get pressure on him in 8 games. But no one has protected the QB better in Cincinnati, only allowing 2 quarterback sacks this season. Sorsby has great pocket awareness, but Utah's defensive line has had 7 sacks. They had 7 sacks against Colorado last week, which Colorado's not very good.
Yeah.
For Cincinnati, can their defense stay hot? Cincinnati held down that quarterback from Baylor, Sawyer Robertson, to a season-low numbers across the board, but Utah doesn't know which quarterback they're playing. I think the one quarterback, Dapier, held out last week with a sore ankle, so we don't know if they're going to go with him or the true freshman Bird Ficklin, as Dapier is dealing with the ankle injury. I don't know. I'm not going to say who wins this one because this is going to be part of my best bets. So stay tuned.
Okay, Anthony, let me hear what you're leaning towards before I answer.
Yeah, because you don't know, and I love that. All right, so I like Cincinnati in this game. I do. I think they're very underranked. I think they're also overlooked as a good team in the Big 12. But, big but there. Aren't they on the road for this game?
Yes, this is at Utah.
Yeah, and that's going to be the determining whether everything I just said right there is true or not true. They have to win this game on the road. They did have a big win earlier this year. I can't remember who they played, but it was a ranked matchup. They won that one. Was it? No, it wasn't BYU.
Their last loss was in Nebraska, game 1 of the first week of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They haven't lost since.
And
So,
who did they played someone during the year that like there was ranked? Iowa State maybe, or
it might have been.
Yeah,
right.
Something like that. But I think Cincinnati's underranked in this situation. I think the way they're coming in, Utah last week dominated Colorado. Dominated all aspects of the game. They had 40 points at halftime, 30-some points at halftime. Deion said he had never seen a butt beaten that bad in a long time, yelling at his defense coordinator. I don't think you're going to do that against Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is up front really well. I like Cincinnati in this game.
Okay. I'm going to go Utah.
And I love how this was Utah. I don't even know how that makes sense.
No, I was in my head.
Rock. I think she did rock on that last.
Okay.
Yeah, in my head, I'm doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And it was Utah.
Oh.
And you know what? She'll probably be right. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
Easy. We ain't get that copyrighted, so easy. Don't be.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, what's your second must-watch game?
Yeah, I'm going to the Big Ten in this game. USC versus Nebraska. Now, Matt Rule just gets a 2-year extension. It is kind of funny now that these coaches are getting fired. You're seeing some of these coaches get extensions because we gotta get all the corral. We got to corral our coaches, make sure that they're not talking to these other programs. Why Matt Rule deserves this? Because this game actually matters. Nebraska game mattering in November. It seems like a century ago since the last time that has actually happened. USC has the #1 passing offense. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, Nebraska has the #2 passing defense. This will be a tale of who can be better on the passing. Can USC throw the ball the way they did against Notre Dame and the way they have all year pretty much? Can Nebraska stop the passing? A little tidbit of that stat, though. Nebraska hasn't faced a top 50 passing offense yet this year. So if you remember last week when Oklahoma took on Ole Miss and we were like, Oklahoma's defense is so good and they're top 5 and everything. Well, they hadn't faced anyone, and now they play Ole Miss and they lost. I think that might be the same situation here. Nebraska will play tough on defense. It's got to be bend but don't break. USC is going to get their plays. Don't worry about that. Just don't allow too many big plays. On the other side, Nebraska's got to control the clock. Let that offense sit on the sideline. We just watched in the NFL Atlanta versus San Francisco, where they had the time of possession 40-20. That's what Nebraska has to do in this situation as well. And the red zone is going to matter in this game, because if Nebraska can score touchdowns and not kick field goals, that keeps that offense having to throw the ball. That allows also the opportunity for mistakes. The other side, I think USC, I just think the firepower with them. I think their losses against U of I was kind of a fluke. And then the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame's the best team in the country, so that makes sense. I like USC to win this game, even though it's at Nebraska.
That's a very interesting stat you said, that they're the number 2 passing defense, but haven't faced any good passing offenses.
Yeah.
So how can you claim to, or how do you get ranked number 2 in that sense?
Stats. That's all that's based. That's not opinion based. That's stat based.
Okay. Tim, let me hear what you have to say.
I think, you know what? I'm just going to go against you. I think Matt Rule with that extension, I think Nebraska beats them by that much.
Yeah. I don't like the quarterback. I like for
Raiola. Yeah,
yes.
I'm not a big fan. I can see why Georgia let him go.
Well, and I just don't like how he's like, I don't want to be like Patrick Mahomes, but then does everything like Patrick Mahomes. Which, hey, I don't get a problem with I think Patrick Mahomes may be the best quarterback in the NFL. I get that all. But you're doing the fingers, you're doing you look as it's just too much. Be yourself, and I will give you more respect in that side. But no, I think USC, and I think some trick plays are going to work out in this game because it didn't work out against Notre Dame.
No.
Yeah, I'll say USC too, because I know that that's a better quality win for Notre Dame. So that's how I'm going to roll.
Yeah, one last thing I'll say about this too. They're coming off a bye. USC's coming off a bye. Yeah. That's a huge factor in this game because I believe Nebraska played last week. Maybe they didn't. Whatever. USC coming off a bye after losing to Notre Dame, they're going to be a little amped up. I think they take Nebraska's head off.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, will take us into your second must-watch this Saturday.
Oklahoma, Tennessee. I think this is an 11 o'clock game. I think this game could be a track meet. It's not 11 o'clock.
It's that night game.
That's right. It's a 6:30. There are fewer holes in the Tennessee right now, but injuries in the backfield. That's going to be the biggest deal. They don't know if the two key players, Arian Carter and Colton Hood, is even going to play. They're coming off injuries. For Oklahoma, the defense has got to start stepping up. Yep. They got lit up against Ole Miss last week. They got to go up and get after that Joey Aguilar. On offense, Mateer, you got to play better, buddy. I'm sorry. You cannot be throwing off your back foot and trying to fit balls in there. Your hand, I don't think, is healed yet. I don't know if it ever will be healed this year, but he's got to play better and get the running game going, because the running game has been really null and void. It was really null and void against Ole Miss. I think they got behind and they just started throwing the ball. For Tennessee, contain Mateer, generate pressure up front, and make the throws on the run. I think that hand is still bothering them. I like Tennessee at home. I think Oklahoma's defense is good, not great, but I think at home, I think Tennessee gets them.
It seems like it's who's got it worse and who's going to make the best out of the situations that they're in. Those sound like two big areas that you need people. And if you have a bad hand and you're not utilizing the running game, I think I'm leaning Tennessee too. Anthony, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is Tennessee all day, and here's why. Not just yes, the injuries that are hurting for Tennessee, that does, but they can score the ball, and they can throw the ball deep. In that situation, that's what Ole Miss did against Oklahoma. The one-on-one coverage did not work against Ole Miss. You think that's going to work against Tennessee? Tennessee is just a Temu version of Ole Miss. Let's be 100% honest. And that would piss me off if I was a fan of Tennessee. It should piss you off because they're not as good as Ole Miss. And I think it comes down to the coaching, 100%. I think Lane Kiffin gets his team a little bit better prepared than the coach for Tennessee. But this game is in Tennessee. And if I was a betting man, I would take the 3 points on this one. I'd give 3 points because I think Oklahoma's loss last week was an elimination game for them. And I think this just puts the nail in the coffin for them, which sucks because I was so on the Oklahoma bandwagon. I thought they were going to do something. But no, I think they're back out. And also, too, it doesn't help when your coach gets body slammed by the other coach when making comments, well, we were better. And Lane Kiffin's like, we were better at Alabama. He just named
Yeah.
5 little games that they were better.
I didn't hear that little scuffle, but
It's that Bravo drama pretty much in
I know.
in college football.
well,
It's a housewives.
The Real Housewives of the SEC.
Yes. ESPN, where you at? That was a perfect right there.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
did that influence my pick for Utah? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to NFL. Anthony kind of alluded that there might be some.
Hey, are we gonna talk about Notre Dame or no?
Oh,
I didn't have him on there, but we can talk about Notre Dame.
Okay.
take us away.
I do. They
What's
got
going on?
Boston College this week at 2:30. I think they're like a 25-point spread. Coming off the bye, don't start slow. Don't let Boston College play around because it's at Boston College. You get the fans involved in it, and it could get kind of ugly if they don't. I don't think they will. I think Boston College is very good. I like Notre Dame probably in a rout.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think this is a CJ Carr game. Like Love has had his games. Everyone has had their games.
Yeah.
This is a CJ Carr. This is one where we show that we're multi-dimensional with our offense. We can run the ball. You saw that against USC. Let's show that we can pass the ball as well. I agree, but turnovers. If CJ Carr throws turnovers, interceptions, that could bring the and it. The last time I was watching the thing of it, the last time they played, it was a game where they started out as a regular day, and then ended up with so much snow. Crazy snow. I think it was the last time that those two, because they haven't played each other in a while.
Right.
And so, I think Notre Dame wins this game. If Boston College was a little bit better, they're 1-7, and they really haven't played very good teams either. So, but this is a game where Notre Dame has to win by 40 to show why they should be top 10, things like that. And I think they do that.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree for that.
And I got one last thing. That defense has to get better as weeks go on. This is one of those games where I would love to see a couple picks, maybe even a pick 6, fumble recoveries, things like this where it changes the momentum of the game, because you're going to need that as time goes on, because you still have an undefeated team coming up with is it Navy or they are undefeated.
And that might be a neutral site game. I think that's a neutral site game too on top.
And then you got Pitt. Pitt's been playing pretty decent this year.
And that's that Pitt. That's that Pitt.
So you got to show that you're getting better on the defensive side. This can't be a game where it's a letdown on the offensive defense and we barely win. We have to keep showing that we're a top 10 team. And I think they will.
Yeah.
Are senior nights coming around the corner? Because I feel like they usually play like Boston College and Navy around senior night.
I think it's Syracuse this year is their senior.
Yeah.
I think. It's one of their last games.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to move on to NFL?
I like it, yeah.
All right. Tim, why don't you take us into the first must-watch game for NFL?
Indianapolis and Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
For the Colts, keep doing what you're doing. Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, keep running the ball, keep throwing the ball. They have a great offensive line. Balance and efficiency. That's all you got to do. They're hitting all the right cylinders right now. And this could be, if they are hitting everything with the running attack of Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones doesn't throw turnovers, could be a long day for the Steelers. For the Steelers, this is a big game after back-to-back losses. Can their defense slow down Jonathan Taylor? As he scored 3 touchdowns for 2 straight weeks. He's rushed for 53 yards last week and didn't even play the fourth quarter. Nearly a 100-yard gap between the second person in rushing offense this year, or for what he's got. And the Steelers defense has given up 33 and 35 points in the last 2 weeks. Ouch. On offense, keep the running game, keep the Colts off the field. That's right. You got to keep them off the field. If they could go up and down the field, this could be another Tennessee Titan game. The winner, I'll let you know in my best bets.
There it is.
Okay. I'm like an Indiana Colts here. I think
Indianapolis. Damn it.
I like it. The Indiana Colts.
Damn
it's
it.
not the same thing. They're in Indiana.
Well, it's not the Illinois Bears. It's the Chicago Bears. Come on now. Gee,
You know,
you did it literally on the last podcast.
There's too many extra syllables.
Oh God, that is hilarious. I'm sorry. That's
You
so
get
hilarious.
there. You get what I'm saying.
You get there. You just got to push it a little bit. Push it.
Indiana Polis Colts.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm leaning towards.
Oh.
Didn't Jonathan Taylor just like beat a record or tie a record for so many touchdowns in a game too?
It was a pass.
Yeah.
So
that was-
unfortunately, it would have been 3 games of 3 rushing touchdowns. But because he tossed in front of him, it was a pass. So that's what you were talking about, the red zone, when we were watching the red zone. They were talking about it, and they were like, it's a pass. But otherwise, still 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he seems like he's on fire right now. So I think if you keep giving him the ball, then you're going to do well. And I know that frustrates Anthony from past years of fantasy, but we like to see him win. So Anthony, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think all this Colts credit goes to the owner, the woman, the Jim Irsay's daughter.
Mhm.
Everyone wanted to give her shit for being on the sideline, doing stuff like that. I love it because she's keeping people accountable. Well, guess what happens when you keep people accountable? You're 7-1 or 6-1 or whatever right now.
7-1.
Like, this team looks great. I will say I don't even think Jonathan Taylor gets involved in this game because Pittsburgh could stop the run against Green Bay last week. They couldn't stop the pass. So watch out for Josh Downs, Pittman, Tyler Warren. Not because he's on my fantasy, but a big game coming from him as well. And they have so many weapons. That's the thing about the Colts. They have people just lined up, ready to go. And Jonathan Taylor.
Alec Pierce.
Yes. And Jonathan Taylor can be a good out of the backfield catching too. Like, I also think too with Pittsburgh, it's one of these things where the old man thing, we talked about how there was like the longest yard situation, a lot of old people, things like this. I think it's catching up to him. I truly do. Jonnu Smith has to be more involved in this game because he is a great tight end. Use him. Utilize him more. Pat Freiermuth is not the guy anymore, but he's getting more catches. I could see this one kind of being a little bit of a rout. I think Indianapolis Colts kind of beat up on Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. So we're all in agreement there. Anthony, why don't you take us into your first must-watch on Sunday?
Yes, I'm going to stay in Chicago right here. It's actually going to be in Cincinnati, but the Bears versus the Bengals, okay? The Bengals looked good 2 Thursdays ago, okay? They looked really good 2 Thursdays ago. Their offense looked good last week, but they still lost. They have to be better on defense. While the Bears thought they were going to play against Lamar Jackson, ended up Snoop came in to play this game, kind of a little gotcha moment, and that defense struggled. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. They couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. I think if the Bears defense can step up in this game and slow down this offense just even a tad bit, they can win this game. But the but is Caleb Williams. He has to be better. And it comes down to red zones because you can't kick field goals. You got to score touchdowns. Because I will tell you right now, this is a great defense to go against to get back onto this. Okay, Caleb Williams is the guy, right? I also think too the Lamar Jackson. What do we? I'm sorry. What do we get now? Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco. Can I name a quarterback? I named every quarterback.
Can't even say quarterback.
Oh, don't even. We were talking college football, and you did. Don't even do that. Don't do this. Like after this podcast, we still have to live in this house together. Don't do this.
And I just want to say, what about the New York Jets or the New York Giants? Those are after states. So, okay, continue.
Okay. Did it take you that long to think of that one?
I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
Probably looked it up while you were talking.
All right, back to this game. Joe Flacco is going to be the difference maker in this game because I know he's fighting some type of injury, so that also could cause him this. But Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have been must-starts of fantasy since Joe Flacco's come there. Even Chase Brown after last week, maybe a must-start. I just think the Bears, with how bad the Bengals defense is, I think the Bears win this game. They should win this game, and if they don't, there's going to be a lot of rumblings coming out of Chicago. Because the Bengals can't win this one, but I'll take the Bears to win this game.
I'm with you there. I'm with the Illinois Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Tim, what's your pick?
I don't know if you know this, but Flacco is questionable for Sunday because he's got is it a shoulder joint? I guess when he landed on it last week against the Jets, he sprained a joint, a shoulder joint or whatever. So they could go. I think I don't know. Depending on who plays. If Jake Browning plays, I think the Bears win. If Joe Flacco plays, I think the Bengals win. So that's where I'm at. Because I think Joe Flacco gives them a better opportunity for Cincinnati to win. Jake Browning does not. That's why they went out and got Joe Flacco. Because Jake Browning was not taking care of it. And I think the Bears defense would get after Jake Browning. Joe Flacco, I think Joe Flacco will get the ball out faster than Jake Browning can. He can get to Higgins and Chase. So I really don't know who I would pick. I think it's got to be a game time decision before you bet on it, or before you would take either team.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this too. Bears got injury problems as well. I think Colson Loveland's got something. DJ Moore's got something. That affects that offense. I just dropped the Bears defense. Now I'm finding out that Joe Flacco might not even play. Damn it, dude. I suck.
What happened, waiver wire wizard? Pick up somebody else.
I picked up the Jags defense. I think the Jags defense, but gee, even ain't crime any.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody take my advice. I'm the wizard.
Wink, wink.
You know, this might be the last episode of Lisa. Hey, congrats.
Oh gosh.
I'm just feeling a little feisty today.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'm gonna go hide in the basement after this podcast. So here we go.
All right, Tim. Well, what's your second interesting or must-watch game this Sunday?
I think this is a very interesting game. Vikings and Lions.
Oh,
The key to the Vikings is the offensive line. Can they keep Aiden Hutchinson in check? You know, so it gives McCarthy enough time to throw the ball. Also, give the running tag. Got to get Mason and Jones involved. You know, whichever one you want, so they can run through holes because they have a banged up offensive line right now. That Minnesota does. On defense, Minnesota, you got to get some push up front and slow down Gibbs and Montgomery. You know, Knuckles and what was it? What do they call them? Knuckles and
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles. Yes. You know, and also the Lions are coming off a bye. For the Lions coming off the bye week, got to get after McCarthy. See how that ankle really feels. You know, he's coming off that injury. You know, make him get out of the pocket, to make him test out that ankle as much as you can, and control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, like you have all year. Coming out of the bye, hey, come out smoking. Don't lay an egg, okay, against the Vikings. My prediction, I do have one prediction, that Sonic and Knuckles rush for at least 150 yards combined and 2 tutties.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, Vikings expert.
But I will pick this game in my best bet, the actual game.
Okay. All right, Anthony. As the Vikings fan, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, this sucks. This season sucks. Everything sucks. I'm glad that JJ's playing because we need to find out what the hell we're getting with this quarterback. But I don't love that they're playing the Detroit Lions because Aiden Hutchinson is a stud. He just got a big contract. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback. We'll say that all the time because that's the goal. Aiden Hutchinson is on fire right now, and that's honestly about it for their defense, though. Their DBs are a little bit of the concern. I think if JJ can get the ball out of his hands to Justin Jefferson and Addison and TJ Hawkinson, and do I have to name all the damn players that he has an option for? So I think in this game, I think the Lions win. I hope the Vikings keep it close. I hope this is not a BTA because it feels much like it's going to be.
Yeah, well, as long as he can get the ball out fast, you know, hopefully he can avoid Aiden. But yeah, he's definitely been a force to reckon with. Well,
and I'm just nervous too that if Aiden gets a hold of him, that he's not like glass and gets broke because that's honestly how we felt with JJ Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy. Like that's how McCarthy has felt, where he gets hit and it's rolled ankle or knee or whatever. So I need to see him get hit a couple times and get up and do it. Like we talked about Carson Wentz on the last podcast that we made fun of him, or not made fun of him, but were angered about his showing emotion of injury. He's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So like
he was actually hurt.
Yes, and so it's like this is where we need to find out if he can actually he's durable for the NFL.
Yeah, most definitely. Can't be fragile. Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they can't be fragile.
Yeah. Ask Aaron Rodgers. You get up, you get knocked down 500 times, you get up 100 and whatever that I just said, 501. So he's been sacked the most. He would know.
Yeah, he's also going into his 75th year. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Well, and
he's only 105 years old. Jesus.
Yeah.
And then Joe Flacco's been around for a while too, another veteran.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, Anthony, take me into your second interesting or must-watch game.
Yes. This is the game of the week right here. This is. So I don't know if you feel a little chill in the air. Feels like playoff football. Nope, just a regular season game. Bills versus Chiefs. This is what we will see in the playoffs. These two teams are playing good football. Chiefs are playing red hot football. But little interesting stat. The Bills have beat the Chiefs 4 straight times in the regular seasons. Now, Chiefs are red hot right now, but the Bills are coming off a 40-point score last week. If they can utilize James Cook, not just because he's on my fantasy, but also because that is how their offense. I get it. Josh Allen is, would say, the best quarterback in the NFL, right? But you have to utilize this running back so it doesn't have to all go on Josh Allen. I think the Bills will struggle slowing down the Chiefs' offense. I think right now you're not even seeing a good Xavier Worthy. You're not even having to see Travis Kelce do much because it's all Rashee Rice. Well, that's going to slow down eventually. So Xavier Worthy, Pacheco's out this week, so Kareem Hunt's going to have to step up. The Braden Smith or whatever, he's going to have to step up as well. Maybe a waiver wired if you haven't needed a running back there. But I kind of want to go down a little bit of a different avenue in this game, okay? Think about how many Super Bowls does Josh Allen have if Patrick Mahomes is never in the league?
Ooh.
I say 3, right? Maybe 2 of them. And let's just take a moment in this game to appreciate the dominant quarterbacks playing against each other. Because I'm getting older as time goes on, unfortunately, and I'm seeing some of these. But do you remember Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning? Do you remember Tom Brady versus Big Ben and all of those clashes? We talked about those quarterbacks. How many Super Bowls would they have if Tom Brady was never in the NFL? Even Matt Stafford versus Drew Brees back in the day, right? These are the games that when we look back, we're like, man, that quarterback matchup. We talked about 3 other games, and not any of them had quarterbacks that were even in this caliber, and these two are going against each other. Enjoy this game. I wish it was the night game because for Buffalo's sake, I think they would win if they were in Buffalo, or if it was a night game. But because it's an afternoon game, I'm taking the Chiefs.
That is interesting. I would definitely think that this would have been a night game, even just like with how they're in the power rankings together and even in the preseason. I definitely thought that would have been the sole game. Tim,
I did look into that. And they said because of viewership that they think they could get more. They did this once before where they did it as a primetime game. And they said that it got more viewership at the 3:31 than they would have. And I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
That's why they moved. That's why they kept it at 3:30. They didn't move to a primetime game. There was somebody they were going to get it even itself out. I don't know because usually the 3:30 games are not that interesting. I know it was. It was because of the East Coast. People are, these games that start at 8:30 now, and then you've watched all this football up to the primetime game. Now this game doesn't get over to 11 o'clock. They lose viewership. Where now this game starts at 4:30 Eastern time. 4:25, and you don't have the whole day of football. You only have the noon games that start at 1 o'clock games. So they're thinking that they're going to get, because they interviewed Jim Nantz, and Jim Nantz thought that he could, he was really hoping that they're going to get this game, which they ended up getting this game, but they thought they were going to lose it, but to prime time. But that's the reason why they interviewed the guy that does the television for the NFL, and the numbers come out, analytics came out where the 3:30 game to the 4:25 game is better than the primetime game.
Well, and I did see a thing too. I don't know if it's actually correct, but that CBS is going to be hosting for everyone. Everyone, no matter where you're living, that this game will be on CBS for everyone. So if that is
blacked out, right?
Yes, because the other games are 3 o'clock. This is the only 3:30 game. So this one will, like, even Red Zone, this will be the game that like follows up. Unfortunately, I hope you don't need to get to bed early on Sunday night because we have to watch every minute of this game before we start the podcast on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm leaning towards the Bills here. I think he's going to keep this rotation of beating the Chiefs in season, and then hopefully he can carry that on into the off season. But I'm here for the Bills.
I'll break the tie and say Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins. I think they're just – I know the Chiefs have been playing good, but they're going to have to come back to reality again like they did the first 2 games. And I think Josh Allen has a monster game.
Yeah.
And I think it's – honestly, if I'm a Bills fan, I want to lose this game. What? Why would you want to lose? Yeah. I want to lose because it always seems like you beat them in the regular season, but you can never get them in the postseason. So let's lose this game so that we can beat them in the postseason because – in the playoffs, when it comes around, that's when it matters. Yeah. But let's be honest, too. Buffalo needs to keep winning because New England is right there trying to take that home field advantage.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's move on to Tim's best bets. He's dropped a couple of teasers, but he wouldn't tell us who he was going to pick. So let's see if his 4-0 record will hold on to this week.
Back by popular demand, I am going to start off with the weird game of the week.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten some feedback on, well, why didn't you give us the weird game of the week? Well, I thought I'd change it up. Well, I should never have done that. So we're going to start out with Navy versus North Texas. Oh, baby. This is going to be a barn burner. Navy has won each of the last 10 games against non-AP ranked teams, while North Texas has covered a spread in each of the last 5 games against non-AP ranked teams. Both teams coming in this matchup, top 2 teams in the American Conference. This could decide one of the bids for the CFPs.
Ooh.
So I like the home team in North Texas. I almost thought about taking the over. The over is 66, but I haven't done that all year. Why start this week? So I like North Texas, and I'll give you the 6.5 points.
Ooh.
Cincinnati and Utah. Cincinnati has lost 8 of the last 9 games in November, and while Utah has won 16 of 17 games in November. Cincinnati's coming into the matchup on a 7-game winning streak and are leading the Big 12 standings. Utah has the lead rushing attack, and Dampier has had an extra week of rest. I like Utah to bounce back from last week, and I'll give you the 9 points. That's a lot of points, I know.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of points, but I think they do bounce back. NFL, Vikings and Lions. The Vikings have failed to cover the spread in each of the last 5 games at Ford Field, while the Lions have covered the spread in each of the last 9 Sunday games versus the Lions. The Vikings are starting McCarthy at QB, and I have to see more before I'm buying in on him. The Lions are coming off a bye and have the highest scoring offense, and they play best at home. Give me the Lions in a rout, and I'll give you the 9.5 points. And my final one, Indianapolis and Pittsburgh. Colts have won each of the last 8 games against AFC opponents, while the Steelers have won each of the last 9 games against AFC South opponents. Both teams going in opposite directions. Colts have won 4 in a row, while Pittsburgh has dropped back-to-back. The Colts have the best offense, 6th best defense in the NFL. Give me the Colts on the road, and I'll give you 3 points.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
That's a sneaky one. That's a sneaky one. That could go either way, but I like the Colts.
I think that last one, it makes me feel like someone knows something that I don't, because I think that's a 7. That's a 6.5 kind of game, I would think. But
right.
And then the North Texas one, just interesting stat. Didn't they throw for like 600 yards last week or some shit like that? So
yeah, I think the quarterback got a helmet sticker on Game Day Final on ESPN.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. I like the over in that one. I mean, I haven't bet on any over-unders this year, but they said there's going to be a lot of scoring going on involved with that. I think they're one of the top 10 offenses in the nation. So, yeah.
Well, and I'll take this right here. I'll give you 3 points for the Cincy, and I'll bet you a Sodi on that one.
You got it.
I get 3. I'm sorry. I get 3.
Oh,
so you're
right. I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 instead of the 9.
Yeah, 3.5. 3.5. Let's make it so.
Okay, there's a hook. Yeah, there's some ties.
9.5 is so many points.
It is a lot of points. And it scared me, and I did a lot of research. Like, God, am I missing something? Why is they give it a 9? And I'm like, everybody was kind of like on Utah. They just think that Cincinnati hasn't played nobody this year. They played Nebraska the first game of the year and got beat, and they haven't played anybody since then. I don't know. They got a lot of momentum going.
Yeah. Well, Utah did play someone, BYU, and got stomped. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that is episode 154. We talked about our must-watch games in the college football and our must-watch games in the NFL. Enjoy it. Make some chili this weekend. Sit there and watch football. We're going to a wedding, but, that's okay. I guess. But I'll be back for Sunday to watch Red Zone. And then we talked about Tim's best bets. I'll be honest with you. I'm hoping for a 4-0, but this one's going to be a tight one this weekend. So if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those as well. We will be back on Monday when we record Sunday night, recapping anything that happened in college football and NFL. We'll also give you kind of our fantasy updates, as I'm supposed to win this week. Probably not going to. So I'll let you guys know how we've done on fantasy. We will talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you later.